Hello everyone, welcome to RASAAYANA Institute of Sciences. So in this video we are going to discuss about what is a Lucas test and what is a Lucas reagent. Both are same. So where it will be helpful in organic selective molecules, how this reagent is going to be helpful to identify. Okay. So generally Lucas reagent is nothing but concentrated hydrochloric acid is going to be mixed with anhydrous ZnCl2. So this mixture is called Lucas reagent, also used for identification of alcohols. Okay, concentrated hydrochloric acid followed by a anhydrous ZnCl2 is called Lucas reagent. This is called protic acid and this is called a Lewis acid. So here I am using a ZnCl2. This ZnCl2 is behaves as a Lewis acid and hydrochloric acid is behaves as a protic acid. Okay, so generally Lucas reagent is used to identify the conversion of tertiary alcohol to corresponding alkyl halide. So I can use a tertiary alkyl halide, or tertiary alcohols are get converted to tertiary alkyl halide. Tertiary alkyl halide. Okay, so here we are using concentrated hydrochloric acid in presence of ZnCl2, anhydrous ZnCl2. This is actually a identification test for tertiary alcohols. So generally alcohols are represented by ROH. This is going to react with this reagent and converts into corresponding alkyl halide. Now here I am using a reagent. Now this is what type of alcohol we can use. So we can use a tertiary alcohol, secondary alcohol and primary alcohol. Three different types of alcohols we can use in case of Lucas test. But see, this test is a qualitative identification test only for tertiary alcohol. Okay. So if I take tertiary alcohol is more reactive as compared to secondary alcohol. Secondary alcohol is more reactive as compared to primary alcohol in this case. Okay, and especially first two. Okay, so these two generally initiated in SN1 reaction in this test. And what about primary alcohol? Primary alcohol mostly proceed with SN2. This is a key point for your examination. Tertiary alcohols with Lucas reagent, secondary alcohols with Lucas reagent will undergo SN1 reaction, and especially primary alcohol will undergo SN2 type of reaction. And what is a tertiary alcohol? See this. If I take any hydrocarbon in which carbon surrounded by 3 alkyl and this is OH. So this is called tertiary carbon. This is tertiary alcohol. And if I take secondary, this is secondary alcohol. And this last one is primary alcohol. So only CH2OH will be present. Okay. Now these two resembles with SN1 reaction and these two completely opposite to this one. That is SN1 to SN2. SN1 and this is SN2. So we know that in SN1 reaction there is a formation of a carbocation as an intermediate, but in SN2 reaction there is no intermediate. So in case of tertiary alcohol, I am using a tertiary alcohol. This tertiary alcohol is going to give within few seconds. This test, it will give within few seconds. So we are converting a white turbid with respect to this primary alcohol. That white turbid indicates that formation of an alkyl halide. So tertiary alcohol is converted to a alkyl halide by using this particular test. Okay, and if I take any secondary alcohol nearly it will take few minutes. So nearly 3 to 5 minutes it will take to convert a white turbid. And finally if I take any primary alcohol, so primary alcohol no reaction at room temperature. No reaction at room temperature. At room temperature this is impossible to give this one. So only higher temperature possible to convert this alkyl to corresponding alkyl halide. So I can say that definitely only tertiary alcohols possible to give a very fast reaction as compared to secondary followed by primary. So that is a reactivity order. Only saturated primary alcohols can give this test, but not unsaturated alcohols. Okay. Suppose if I take a saturated alcohol and unsaturated alcohol, suppose if it is a phenol, this is phenol. Phenol does not react in this one. Concentrated hydrochloric acid ZnCl2. So I can say no reaction. Phenol does not give Lucas test. Because see, this carbon oxygen forms a resonance. Due to double bond character, it is impossible to give Lucas test. Phenol never give Lucas test. Okay. And if I take any tertiary alcohol, This is actual reaction. This is a tertiary alcohol and this is a reagent. Concentrate hydrochloric acid ZnCl2. This is responsible to give alkyl halide. That is the answer. So I am simply removing this hydroxy group to corresponding halogen derivative, but this carbon is definitely belongs to sp3 only. If it is sp2 or sp, this reaction is not possible. Okay, so if you see the mechanism, you will understand clearly how these tertiary alcohols are reacting with Lucas reagent. First, what I am taking is this alcohol is going to react with a proton present in hydrochloric acid. This hydrochloric acid will donate one of the proton here. Okay, so after donation of proton, there is a formation of protonated alcohol. Now this alcohol is going to be removed up. So once if it is removed, there is a loss of water molecule, and see, there is a development of carbocation. Carbocation is completely planar. So this planar carbocation is going to react with the chloride which is already entered in ZnCl2. See, suppose here I am using concentrated hydrochloric acid in presence of ZnCl2. Hydrochloric acid is a protic acid which can release one proton. The proton taken by alcohol, this chlorine enter into ZnCl2. And this ZnCl2 is a Lewis acid. This Lewis acid converts into ZnCl3 minus. This chlorine enters here because it is a Lewis acid. The formed ZnCl3 minus, in which one of the chloride ion will attack from above and below the plane. So if you attack from above or below the plane, your answer is remain same. Means don't think that if I write chlorine left side, it will be a reverse configuration, because this is not a chiral center. If it is a chiral center, you will get two different orientations of products are expected. Right. So this chlorine is attacking from above, you will get chlorine right side, and if it is attacking from left side, you will get chlorine left side. But see, these two are undistinguishable, both are same. Okay. So I am converting this tertiary alcohol into corresponding alkyl halide by using Lucas test, and this is going to be takes place within seconds. Few seconds it is going to take. Okay. So in this case, in place of this tertiary alcohol, if I use any secondary alcohol, the same reaction is possible and you are getting the same answer, but here I can write one hydrogen here. So that reaction completes within minutes. But if I take any primary never give Lucas test, because that reaction progressed at low temperature. Room temperature not easy, little bit if you maintain high temperature, that will give a primary alkyl halide. Okay, and that too, it is belongs to SN2. Okay, and finally see, this is important for examination. See, benzyl alcohol can give Lucas test, then followed by allyl alcohol. Allyl alcohol can give Lucas test, then tertiary alcohol, then secondary alcohol, finally primary alcohol. So most probably you can take up to secondary alcohol only. Only these selective molecules with following order, it can possible to give Lucas test. It is a white turbid solution after getting the product. Benzyl alcohol, allyl alcohol, tertiary alcohol, and then followed by secondary alcohol. This all will give SN1 type of reaction in Lucas test. Benzyl is more rapid as compared to allyl. Allyl is much more faster than tertiary followed by secondary. Okay. So if I take any primary alcohol doesn't show this particular character. Okay. Next, even I can take any hydroxy group attaches to benzene, phenol, and if any hydroxy group attaches to double bond, and if any triple bond attaches to alcohol. So these particular groups, due to mesomeric character, there is a double bond character is expected between carbon and oxygen. See this. This non-bonding electron going towards benzene side, so it will show a double bond character here. So due to double bond character, this bond is not possible to break. See, after protonation, here we are breaking. So this is possible to break if it is a single bond. So whenever if it is involved in resonance, it is showing a double bond character. So that's why these molecules never involve in Lucas test. Okay, so that is about Lucas test, and that is about the reactivity of alcohols involved in Lucas. Okay. Now see this. Make a short revision. What is Lucas test? Lucas test is a qualitative test for identification of a saturated alcohols, in which hydroxy group attaches to sp3 carbon only. Remember, the key point in this one is this alcohol always attaches to sp3 carbon. It should not be attaches to other than sp3 carbon. If this alcoholic carbon attaches to sp3, if it is having more stable carbocation order we need to follow after removal of hydroxy group. So tertiary, secondary, primary, that is the reactivity order. So in your examination, definitely these 2 points are most helpful. Okay, SN1 followed by SN2. Tertiary and secondary alcohol related to SN1, but primary alcohol related to SN2. Okay, this is alcoholic carbon with sp3. This is sp3 carbon, and this is also sp3 carbon, and here also sp3. So all sp3 alcoholic carbons cannot involve in Lucas test. So the sp3 carbon have a tendency to give more stable carbocation after dissociation with this bond. Then if this stability increases, this reactivity increases. So that's why I'm saying tertiary more reactive than secondary, secondary more reactive than primary. So this is general reactivity order. Tertiary saturated alcohols give Lucas test in seconds, then it is in minutes. Room temperature, primary alcohol not exist. Okay, and if you compare the reaction with phenol and mechanism, this is a mechanism, general mechanism. Phenol doesn't give Lucas test because there is a double bond character between carbon and oxygen. This is a general Lucas reaction, and this is a mechanism. So the key point which you need to identify is this reagent. So Lucas reagent is a mixture of protic acid and Lewis acid. Protic acid can donate hydrochloric acid, and the formed chloride ion enter into ZnCl2, and that will form say ZnCl3. First this protonation takes on oxygen and forms protonated alcohol. So there is a loss of water molecule. This process will give SN1. Okay, so after formation of a carbocation, ZnCl3 minus anion will attack on this carbon, and finally you will get forward direction, backward direction, 2 chlorines will come. This is above attack, and one more is there, this is below attack. Above attack, below attack, both are same. We can't distinguish these two, that's why you will get 100% stereoisomer. Only one stereoisomer possible. And finally, this is the reactivity order which is helpful for your exam. Okay, IIT and NEET examinations, this is most helpful, this order. Which among the following is more effectively reacts in Lucas test? This one. If the stability of carbocation increases, reactivity increases. Okay, Lucas test is used to identify saturated primary alcohol in which hydroxy group attaches to sp3 carbon. That is the final conclusion. Okay, so that is about Lucas test. Hope you understand. Try to subscribe our channel so that all new videos going to be given in the form of notification. Okay, thank you.